Perfecto. I'm Christina, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. I am going to share an amazing adventure that I had with my daughter's class a couple of weeks ago. So, the school that I work at is a military school, but it's not like a boot camp school or something. It's like people who work in the military overseas, they have families or kids need a school to go to. Um, so that's the kind of school that I work at. And because we are in Italy, Sicily specifically, uh, the host nation teacher, so the teacher who helps the children learn about where they're living, uh, gets with each grade level and has a list of field trips that they can choose from for them to take. So my daughter's class, um, the grade level that she's in this year, last year they went to the same place, I believe, but they did some different activities. And last year, her grade level went to a farm and they got to see donkeys being milked. They got to have donkey milk. They got to see some other farm animals. They got to learn about how wheat is grown, different grains, and how to grind them and mill them to make bread or to make flour so that you can make things like pasta, depending on what the type of grain that you have. So all of those things are done through the school. And I went on a different field trip with another class as a teacher, but this time I was going as a parent. And I was all excited. Like I'd already requested the day off when I found out what day the field trip was, and I was the first person to turn in my chaperone little note when I got the permission slip. I mean, it does kind of help that my daughter just goes from her classroom to my office and hands me the permission slip, and I'm like, oh, done, da-da-da-da-da. And I check yes that I want to be a chaperone, and that was it. But anyway, it was I was so excited to be able to do this because I'd heard such wonderful things about the place. And I'm going to tell you about the place, and I'm going to show you some pictures about it. But that day was such an adventure, and not always for the good. So I was driving to work, and I had another family in the car with me, another teacher. We live very close to each other, so we've been working on carpooling to see if that helps us like save gas or anything like that. So we were kind of swapping off uh, with who was driving. Well, it was my turn to drive, so I was driving, and I noticed that my tire was kind of doing a weird thing, and then all of a sudden my sensor thing came on, and I was like, okay. So the roads here, some of them are not really, really small, but the one that I was on, there was no way that I could pull off to the side of the road. There was no side of the road. There was no shoulder to pull off on to change the tire. So I had to ride it until we got to the gas station. And my friend and I mean, we were getting everything ready. We were trying to get the tire changed. But it was also Teacher Appreciation Week. So her kids had all of their gifts for their teachers that they needed to hand out that day because it was Friday. So it was the last day of Teacher Appreciation Week. And I'm like, we're really trying with the flat. And I was like, you know what? We can do this, but it's going to take us a whole lot longer than if I try to find somebody who like has a hydraulic lift and a drill, and they could just bzz, 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 and be done. So there is a number that we have, that we were given when we arrived, and it's like a security number. So if something happens and we're off base, we can call that number, and they can coordinate with a local police or fire or emergency or whoever, right? Whomever. So I called, and they at first said, well, we can get you a tow truck. And I was like, I don't need a tow truck. I have a spare. Like, would they just come and change it to the spare? And he was like, I don't know. I'll have to call you back. And I was like, all right. So we're still working. Like, we're still trying to, like, get everything done. He calls me back, and he was like, it'll be €50. That's kind of high, but okay. I mean, cool. How soon can he be here? He was like, 5 minutes. Done. He came. He was there in about 5 minutes, and he had the tire off, the spare on, within 10 minutes. And do I regret paying him the money? No. Do I still think it was high? Yes. But we didn't spend 2 hours trying to get the lug nuts off and do all of that. So we made it to school on time. The kids they didn't have a whole lot of time to hand out their gifts, but they made it to school. They weren't late for school, which was my goal. We made it for the field trip, so my daughter wasn't stressing me out. We're going to be late. No, that didn't happen because we weren't late. And so I go, put my stuff down, go to the classroom because I'm one of the chaperones. And when you're a chaperone, you get assigned a group of students, and those are the students you're in charge of for the day. I was also tapped to be one of the translators. I am very grateful that the host nation teacher has such faith in my Italian abilities. But I was very nervous because I can understand a lot of Italian. I cannot speak it back to you, though. Like, the amount of time it takes me to piece together what I need to say in Italian to respond to you. It takes a long time. I can answer you in English, but you don't want that. They want me to answer them in Italian. So, I told her that I would be happy to, because I could tell the kids in English what she's saying, but it was very hard for me to answer her back. So it wasn't an ordeal, but it was stressful for me. I learned a lot. I felt more confident in my abilities, which I know was the goal. I felt more confident in my speaking abilities, but it still felt like it took me forever to, like, put the Italian together in my brain for it to come out of my mouth. So anyway, she reminds me, don't forget you're a translator, and I was like, gee, thanks. So we get there, we're doing all this, and I'm with the group that I'm supposed to be with, and we're walking up to the place, and my daughter is up on a wall. And I'm like, get down, get down, get down. I'm not watching where I'm going. I fall. Boom. Twist my ankle. I fall hard. So hard. I was able to catch my... Excuse me. I was able to catch myself. But I fell hard. I hit because my right ankle twisted. I fell. Landed on my left knee. It wasn't soft ground. It was very rocky ground. But I got up. I twisted my ankle a lot. It was just starting to heal from the last time I twisted it. And I had on my special socks, my brace, everything. But because it was very rocky ground and I was not watching where I was going. I don't know if you are at the stage in your life where you watch yourself walk down the stairs. I didn't think that I would be there at this age, but I have had a lot of health things and I've fallen a lot um, because of the issues with my feet, which I can go into in a separate video. Um, or if you would like to ask it as one of the Life Lately questions, you can do that on my 3-year podiversary preview video. You can go and post that question, and I will happily answer it. Uh, but anyway, I am very, very cautious now when I walk down the stairs, when I'm walking on uneven ground. I really pay attention to where I'm going. But I was trying to get my daughter off the wall because the lady was like, she can't be up there, and I was like, but trying to like keep that sense of decorum because I'm in a group of people who are also my students, who are also like all connected in some way. It's a very small community when you have everything on the base and you see each other in all kinds of different situations. So I'm trying very hard not to just pull her down off the wall and say, we're going home if you can't listen. But I get up and I keep going, and this is where I'll start putting in pictures. It was so beautiful. It was breathtaking in so many areas. There are some things that the pictures that I'm including are not everything that we saw and everything we did, because I had a group of students with me, so I was trying to take pictures of things without them in it. And the theme of the day, so this place is like a biological place. So it's called La Terra di Bo. And we were learning about how we can see colors in nature and use things in nature to make those colors. So we made our own natural paintbrush. So along the pathways that we were walking, there were little things that we were to pick and make our paintbrush. She gave us a piece of yarn that we could tie together to make our paintbrush. And then we were looking at some of the plants and the flowers and noticing the colors. And then they were told they had to find a head of cabbage somewhere, red, purple cabbage. And then they did this in groups. So there were multiple groups. So we were kind of like rotating through things. And our group, when it was time for us to watch the cabbage, it was processed. So it was broken apart, kind of chopped, put in a food processor, and then squeezed. So you got all of the juice, so you get all of that rich color. And it was about that time. Sorry, song popped into my head. They were all sitting and watching the processing, and the teachers and parents were like taking bathroom breaks in shifts. And I went to the bathroom and I nearly passed out because, if you remember, I told you I had fallen, right? And I landed on my left knee. I did not realize how badly I had scraped my leg and my knee until I went to go to the bathroom. And as you do, your pants go down, and I heard this awful sound as my pants came off of my leg. and it was like I fell all over again. That pain was awful. I did not realize that I had been bleeding in my knee, and it had stuck to my leg. Because I had on dark jeans. I had on like dark blue jeans, so I did not realize any of that. I didn't feel it because it didn't really go down my leg. Because it just kind of stopped, and then it started to dry, and it was painful. It took everything in me not to say all kinds of bad words. One, because the bathroom was right near where the cabbage was being processed, and also because, again, small group of people. So, anyway, after she processed the cabbage, she took the group of kids that I was with to this table in like this playground area, and she used different things. So everybody got like a strip of paper, and the first one, they just dipped their paintbrush in and made this reddish purple color. They could paint whatever they wanted. Then she gave them another piece of paper and a piece of chalk, and she told them to draw something, anything they wanted on the piece of paper. And then she took some baking soda and put some of the water from the cabbage into a different container and put the baking soda in there, and it turned blue. So then they could take their paintbrush again and paint over the other piece of paper, but where they had put the chalk, no paint would go over that, so they could see their design. So they really liked that. Then she gave them another piece of paper, and these are all like little strips, they're little bookmark strips. She gave them another piece of paper, and this time she took white vinegar and poured it in just to the container because they were done with the purple or red, what have you, and it turned pink. And then they got to take the blue and the pink and make a different bookmark, however they wanted to do it. So that was a very, very lovely experience. When I got back, I was not able to get my tire fixed. I had to wait because they did not have, at the place closest to base, they did not have the tire that I needed. And my daughter had an appointment, so we had to leave. And then I thought, there's a place by my house that it's a tire shop. I've been there before. Well, they were closed. They were closed all weekend for a festival. So I had to wait. I had to wait until Monday to get it done. But I did. I got it done. It's fine. But yeah, so I hope that you've enjoyed the field trip. I certainly did. They did say that you could book it for like parties or weddings or whatever ceremonies you wanted to book it for. I have no idea how much it costs, but I mean, it was a lovely place to walk around and see all the beautiful things in bloom, and I'm sure in summertime, and it's going to change with the seasons, right? It's going to change with fall, it's going to change with winter, it's going to change as spring first is coming up. We went in May, so some of that springtime, the blooms were gone, but I'm sure that in all the seasons it looks amazing. So I would be excited to even try to go back there just to see what it looks like. But with that, I will leave you. Please let me know what you thought. I am fine now. My ankle is still sore, but it seems that it's going to be that way permanently because I keep messing it up. My knee is fine. There was some bruising, but there's no scarring or anything like that. But there was bruising, and it did take some time to heal. It's been about a month since the field trip. I'm sorry, I'm late getting this out to you guys, but it has been a month since the field trip ish, and so it's healed up fine. There's no scabs or scars or anything, but it was very painful. Just because I know somebody might ask, well, blah blah, how are you doing, blah blah. I'm all good now, but it was bad. um, so I hope that you all are taking care of yourselves and that you're enjoying whatever time of day it is that you're watching this. And as always, be well, be safe, and be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao bella!